Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us. Today we present to you Tumi Ramonti, a talented self-taught pianist all the way from Soshanguve in Pretoria. I hope you'll enjoy all the performances. Sit back, relax, and have fun.
My name is Tumi Ramonti. I'm an accompanist, pianist. My musical journey, I think it started way when I was young. Um, influence from where we come from, what we hear from as kids, influence us. Because I remember when I was at crèche, I do remember. Uh, my parents bought me toys, and amongst the toy there was this toy that sang a lullaby, like you twist it and it goes. I still remember the melody. It was like etc etc as you sleep is, and it makes the baby sleeps. Okay, so because I kept hearing that every day and every day, so it rang in my mind. So when I was graduating from crèche to grade 1, like primary school, then I asked my parents to buy me a keyboard, small organ. You see the toy, I think this size, and it used batteries for power, because I wanted to play this melody out of that thing. But I thought that that keyboard was wrong, because but when it was me, I couldn't do that, you see. And as I grew and grew and grew and went to high school, I completely forgot about music, and music was never now in my plans, like for career or anything like that. I wanted to be something else. And now at school, I came across one day. I was working from school, so I was passing Soshanguve High School, where Mohau Mukhale, who conduct the Sounds of the Nation and Bahale Chorus today, and our well-renowned composer was conducting there. So I overheard the choir singing in the school, and I stood there for hours, and it became my daily routine now to, after school, to rush to Soshanguve High School just to listen to a choir and hear the piano singing until I got in. Well, I told my high school teacher, whom I knew that he could read music. And then he introduced me, Mr. Shilenge introduced me to Mohau Mohale, and whom I introduced myself as somebody who wants to do music. Okay, so Mr. Mohau Mohale, I think he was a bit harsh on me because he said, "You want to read music?" And he came with this accompaniment song. I think it's Handel, O Terror and Astonishment. It's a choral piece. He put it in front of me and he said, "Now play." I couldn't get even one note out of that piece. It was just difficult. And now he said, "Okay, something easier." In Mozart, Placido il Mare. Then I'm sure people know that thing. I couldn't read music by then, okay, but I had a very good ear, like I could imitate because already I could understand the keyboard. Okay, so taking what I hear into the keyboard wasn't really a problem. Okay, so Mr. Mahau took me to Social Movie High and showed me a little basics of how to read. Like this is C on the score and this is your C on the piano, like that. Okay, and then I asked my parents to buy me a small keyboard, about 60 something keys, I don't remember, which I made it my best friend now. I rehearsed every day and then entered for the music competitions in UNISA, Tshwane music competitions, as a solo classical pianist. And I was fascinated to see how other kids could play instruments, especially the Chinese kids, you know, and the whites, like they could play like crazy, these instruments. And then I managed to come first. I got first position from that competition. And from there on, then I went to join choirs as a singer because I couldn't really go to piano and it was just difficult to read a 200 bars song for me, you know. But I rehearsed every day, and luckily my keyboard. Now this is how I learned to read music. My keyboard had songs programmed in it, so you just play, and a book like written the music playing in there. So as it plays, I watch the music. So at first I could read only beats, and then as time goes on, I could see, oh, this sustains longer and this is how it's written. Okay, so that's how I learned how to read music. I am self-taught. Then the rest became history. I played for one choir voluntarily at Sekharona. No, not Sekharona, Khagma, at Khagma. And then from there, people got attracted to me because I still do, I play out of memory most of the times. And people now ask me, then how do you memorize such long pieces and so forth? And I find it very easy because now what I do, I think is my way of thinking. I don't take a score and look at the score this way, like this is the score. I think like this. I don't make sense. But I think like this. I picture the overall thing. Okay, so it's much easier if the song has been done before, especially by orchestra. Okay, because what I do, I take the sound that I hear and then bring it on the piano this way. Like, well, the piano doesn't change sound really, but character of approaching a note. Like for instance, like simple notes, if I have to play and then now I hear the orchestra and I realize, okay, this maybe it's trumpets playing. Okay, this note, the sound, piano is piano, but the manner to play you imagine the piercing loud sounds of the trumpet. So you wouldn't go or something like that, but picture that, you see. Another example, maybe the Nabucco, the slave song, the Vape Sierra song. If you have to go, and I know it's a flute, so I'm thinking, after the orchestra goes the big sound, and then in my mind I'm thinking orchestra, and then my best flute from there, and it will sound like, and everybody, and so forth. So it's colors of sound that makes me attached to music and makes it real. So it's imagination that makes me to memorize the music with ease. Yes.
All
Okay, I remember this performance very well. It was Chitungwiza Harmony Singers from Harare, Zimbabwe. This was at the NCF finals. They were singing Vulana Masango and they managed to obtain third position for the first time in the national finals. So it's one of the highlights for me. And it was an honor to actually work with them. They are such lovely people in Zimbabwe, so holla to them. So the next performance is the Great SA Singers. This was in 2015, Bloemfontein, the National Choir Festival, when we did Umthetho. So what happened about this performance, and I'm talking about it because many people appreciate it so much. So what happened was I was very neutral before the performance because I never even rehearsed with the choir, So, but I anticipated greatness because we know the SA Singers to be a very great choir we have in South Africa. So I think what brought it together in terms of the pianist and the choir, so the whole performance, is the conductor, Mr. Vumile Nomanyama. So I remember well, as the choir walked into the stage, he came to me. I was sitting on the piano, and I played the Umthetho song for a few choirs before the singers came in. But he awakened me, what he said to me, how he said it, because he explained the song section by section what they wanted to achieve with the piece. And I remember he said the last movement, the Niyabizwa Nonke, he said do your thing. So he gave me the confidence to just bring my A game and come to the party, to the level of the SA Singers. And so I was quite vigilant and awake and was watching him closely. And then the way the choir sounded made me awake, and the performance came together. So I enjoyed playing now is a medley of choral songs that anyone can sing along. It's songs that have been sung throughout the years in competitions. It's not necessarily piano works, accompaniment songs. So they just came to place as I was playing along. I did not really prepare what to play. So I hope that you're gonna enjoy it as much as I did. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed as much as I did enjoy. And thank you so much, Choral for hosting me. It was a great experience today. And let us stay safe through this pandemic, guys, and adhere to all the COVID-19 protocols the government has given to us. And until we meet again, through the music that brought us together, and we hope that all shall be well, and we'll get back to the game.